Hello everyone, I am Arindam Mukherjee from class 8A, and in today's history magazine we are going to talk about Mughal architecture. A building style that flourished in northern and central India under the patronage of the Mughal empires from the mid 16th century to the late 17th century. The Mughal period marked the striking revival of Islamic architecture in northern India. Under the patronage of the Mughal emperors, Persian, Indian, and various provincial styles were fused to produce works of unusual quality and refinement. The tomb of Emperor Humayun at Delhi inaugurated the new style, though it shows strong Persian influences. The first great period of building activity occurred under Emperor Akbar at Agra and at the new capital city of Fatehpur Sikri, which was founded in 1569. Here are some marvelous examples of Mughal architecture.
My name is Tanmay Das. I study in class 7A of Julian Day School, Ganganagar. Today I would like to talk about a beautiful specimen of the Mughal architecture in India and also a UNESCO World Heritage Site known as the Humayun's Tomb. Built in Delhi between the year 1565 AD to 1572 AD, it was built by Haji Begum, the widow of Humayun. It is located in the Nizamuddin East district of Delhi near the Dinapana citadel. It has an extensive use of red sandstone. The structure has a unique architectural feature as it appears octagonal from outside but is a square from within. Its ceiling is decorated with incised plaster. The tomb, built in 1578 CE, is of particular cultural significance as it was the first garden tomb on the Indian subcontinent. It was built and designed by Mirag Mirza Ghiyat. It is considered to be the precursor of the
Located 36.2 kilometers away from Agra in the state of Uttar Pradesh, Fatehpur Sikri is the first planned city of the Mughals, founded by Akbar between 1556 century and 1605 century, and constructed between 1571 century and 1573 century. Fatehpur Sikri is also an International World Heritage Site. Inside the Fatehpur Sikri, you can find the Panch Mahal, Diwani Aam, Diwani Khas, Buland Darwaza, Lotus Throne, Khwabgah, Tomb of Sheikh Salim Chishti, Jama Masjid, Birbal Bhavan, Maria Muzamani Palace, Dargah of Hazrat Salim Chishti, and Jodha Bai's Palace, about which we are going to talk about today. Jodha Bai's Palace is the biggest palace inside Fatehpur Sikri. It was made with pure red sandstone. In the middle of the palace was a courtyard. The queen had two bedrooms, one used in the summer season and the other used in the winter season. The roofs of the bedroom were designed with a blue colored tile brought from Iran at the time. Jodha Bai was a Rajput princess, which meant she was a Hindu. So Emperor Akbar made her a temple inside her palace. In the middle of the courtyard was a place for the tulsi plant, which was believed that Jodha Bai used to water after her daily prayers. Inside the palace was a kitchen which was specially designed for Jodha Bai. The entrance to the palace has a zigzag pattern instead of a straight way, which was made to safeguard the privacy of the palace. All buildings inside have a beautiful Indo-Islamic pattern. In 1582 century, Akbar shifted his capital from Fatehpur Sikri to Lahore. Later, in 1610 century, Fatehpur Sikri was made completely abandoned and is now made a UNESCO World Heritage.
I am Pratiksha Biswas of class 7D from Julian Day School, Ganganagar, and today I am going to talk about an ever beautiful architecture and one of the seven wonders of the world, the Taj Mahal. Built in Agra between 1631 AD and completed in 1648 AD. It was built by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in the memory of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal, who died in childbirth. It is located on the bank of river Yamuna in the Agra district in Uttar Pradesh. The Taj Mahal is considered as the jewel of Muslim art in India and is also the UNESCO World Heritage Site. More than 1 million tourists come to see the beautiful masterpiece. It was estimated that in 2018, almost 7 million people visited this site. The story behind making Taj Mahal is that Mumtaz Mahal was the third and the most favorite wife of Shah Jahan. She was a beautiful and a devoted woman and gave birth to a lot of children. But she died giving birth to their 14th child. On memory of his beloved wife, Shah Jahan made the Taj Mahal to express his love to Mumtaz Mahal. Now, in the Taj Mahal, we can see the tomb of Mumtaz Mahal and Shah Jahan. The Taj Mahal was constructed with materials all over the world, especially white marble. Approximately 20,000 workers had needed to complete, and there was about 1,000 elephants needed to transfer the goods and other materials. It took about 22 years to complete this monument. It is considered as a symmetrical architectural monument. The chief architecture and constructor of Taj Mahal was Ustad Ahmad Lahori. It is really an immense beautiful monument which was made with the help of all the workers, animals and the chief architecture and constructor.
I am Shrishna Bhattacharya of class 8D, and today I am going to speak about the Agra Fort. Agra Fort is a historical fort in the city of Agra in India. It was the main residence of the emperors of the Mughal dynasty until 1638, when the capital was shifted from Agra to Delhi. Before captured by the British, the last Indian rulers to have occupied it were the Marathas. In 1938, the Agra Fort was life inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is about 2.5 kilometers northwest of its most famous sister monument, the Taj Mahal. The fort can be more accurately described as the walled city. Its location is in Agra in Uttar Pradesh and area is 94 acres, and it was built between 1565 to 1517 and was built for Akbar. Like the rest of Agra, the history of Agra Fort prior to Mahmud Ghaznavi's invasion is unclear. However, in the 15th century, the Chauhan Rajputs occupied it. Soon after, Agra assumed the status of capital when Sikandar Lodi AD 1487 to 1517 shifted his capital from Delhi and constructed a few buildings in the pre-existing fort at Agra. After the First Battle of Panipat, AD 1526, Mughals captured the fort and ruled from it. In AD 1530, Humayun was crowned in it. The fort got its present appearance during the reign of Akbar from 1556 to 1605. After the First Battle of Panipat in 1526, Babur, his successor Humayun, was crowned in the fort in 1530. He was defeated at Bilgram in 1540 by Sher Shah Suri. The fort remained with the Suris till 1555 when Humayun recaptured it. Sher Shah Suri's general Hemu recaptured Agra in 1556 and pursued its fleeing governor to Delhi, where he met the Mughals in the Battle of Tughlaqabad. Realizing the importance of its central situation, Akbar made it his capital and arrived in Agra in 1558. He His historian Abul Fazl recorded that this was a brick fort known as Badalgarh. It was in a ruined condition and Akbar had it rebuilt with red sandstone from Barauli area, Dholpur district in Rajasthan. Architects laid the foundation and it was built with bricks in the inner core with sandstone on external surfaces. Some 4,000 builders worked on it daily for 8 years, completing it in 1573. It was only during the reign of Akbar's grandson, Shah Jahan, that the site took on its current state. Shah Jahan built the beautiful Taj Mahal in the memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. Unlike his grandfather, Shah Jahan tended to have buildings made from white marble. The fort was under the Jat rulers of Bharatpur for 13 years. In the fort, they built the Ratan Singh Ki Haveli. The fort was invaded and captured by the Maratha Empire in the early 18th century. Thereafter, it changed hands between the Marathas and their foes many times.
Hello everyone, myself Deepan Sarkar from class 7 section C. Today I will give you some facts regarding the Jama Masjid of Delhi. The Masjid-e-Jahannama, commonly known as the Jama Masjid of Delhi, is one of the largest mosques in India. The mosque is located within the historic city of Shahjahanabad, today known as the locality of Old Delhi. Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan built the Jama Masjid between 1650 and 1656 at the highest point of Shahjahanabad. The mosque was designed by architect Mustad Khalil and constructed by approximately 5,000 workers. The workforce was diverse, consisting of Indians, Arabs, Persians, Turks, and Europeans. The cost of the construction at the time was 10 lakh or 1 million rupees. The mosque was inaugurated on 23rd July 1656 by Sayyid Abdul Ghaffur Shakhari from Bukhara, Uzbekistan. He had been invited by Shah Jahan. In 1803, the British took over Shahjahanabad, but the initial policy of the British in the city was favorable towards its residents. The British undertook repairs and even renovations of the Jama Masjid. The masjid continued to serve as a site of social and political discourse, in keeping with other mosques of Delhi at that time. The masjid is considered the best among all mosques built during the Mughal Empire, as it has the best mixture of marble and limestone. At the time of its construction, it was the largest mosque in the Indian subcontinent. The mosque predominantly used red sandstone and black marble also featured as a decorative element. Arabic and Persian calligraphic pieces are found on various surfaces. The mosque is accessed by three sandstone gates. The most prominent of these is the 3-story high eastern gate, which historically acted as a royal entrance reserved only for the use of emperor and his associates. The other two entrances are the northern and southern gates, which are 2-story high and were used by general population. The square courtyard is paved with red sandstone and faces the eastern gate. It has a side length of at least 99 meters and can accommodate 25,000 worshippers. Chhatris mark the four corners of the courtyard rising above the arcades. The prayer hall measures 61 meters in length and 27 meters in width. Three marble domes rise up from its floor, featuring golden pillars. The facade of the prayer hall features a grand pishtap in the center, flanked by 5 smaller curved archways on either side. The Jama Masjid serves as Delhi's primary mosque and has a largely congregational function. The Muslim community of the city gather here for communal Friday prayer as well as major festivals such as Eid. The mosque is a major tourist attraction and derives a significant amount of income through the visit of the foreigners.
Mondol from class 7B is going to tell about Bivi Ka Maqbara, which is an Mughal architecture. The Bivi Ka Maqbara is a tomb located in Aurangabad in the state of Maharashtra, India. It
It was commenced in 1660 by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's son Azam Shah in the memory of his mother Dilrus Banu Begum, and is considered to be a symbol of Aurangzeb's conjugal fidelity. It is believed to be built in between 1668 and 1669 C.E. The architects of PV Ka Maqbara are Ata Ullah and Hanspat Rai. The Taj Mahal was built for Aurangzeb's mother, and Bibi Ka Maqbara was built for Aurangzeb's wife. Bibi Ka Maqbara is the second largest structure that Aurangzeb has built, the largest being Badshahi Mosque.
Hello everyone, I am Tanishta Mallik from class 8B of Julian Day School Ganganagar. Today I am going to speak about the beautiful specimen of Mughal architecture, the Red Fort. If heaven can be on the face of the earth, it is this, it is this, it is this. This inscription by the Persian poet Amir Khusru adorned the walls of Diwan-i Khas enclosed in the structure. The peacock throne was embellished here in the 17th century. It is the largest monument in Delhi and attracts thousands of visitors every year. Yes, the panorama is none other than the Red Fort. Red Fort or Lal Killa is a historic fort in Old Delhi, which served as the main residence of the Mughal Empire. The fort lies along the Jamuna River. Emperor Shah Jahan commissioned the construction of Red Fort on 12 May 1638 when he decided to shift his capital from Agra to Delhi. The design of Red Fort is credited to architect Ustad Ahmed Lohri, who also constructed the Taj Mahal. The architecture of Red Fort is amazing and appreciable for its creation of 5 centuries ago without any modern day technologies and methodologies. It is built with typical Mughal art and view. The fort was plundered of its artworks and jewels during Nadir Shah's invasion of Mughal Empire in 1739. Unfortunately, the most of the fort's marble structure were demolished by the British after the Indian Rebellion of 1857. Though as many as 66% of the buildings within the fort were either broken or badly damaged. Red Fort still houses many historical structures like Mumtaz Mahal, which is located in the women's quarters of the fort. Mumtaz Mahal was one of the 6 palaces inside the fort. All these palaces were constructed along the bank of Yamuna River and the stream of Paradise. Khash Mahal. The Khash Mahal used as the king's private residence. The palace was separated into 3 parts, namely the chamber of telling beads, sitting room and sleeping chamber. Rang Mahal, which literally means palace of colors, was built to house the emperor's mistress and wives. Thus the mistress and wives. Thus the palace was built to look colorful with bright paints and decorations. Diwan-i-Am or Hall of Audience is a room in the Red Fort. It is a red sandstone pavilion open on 3 sides. Here Mughal emperors heard the petitions of general public. It is also used for public prayers and celebrations. Located within the Red Fort, the Diwan-i Khas or the Hall of Private Audiences is where the emperor would conduct meetings with heads of state and high-ranking officials. The hall is essentially a rectangular chamber with high arch openings, which are beautifully engraved. The Red Fort has 2 gates. The Lahori Gate is the main entrance to the Red Fort in Delhi. The gate received its name because it led to the city of Lahore. Every year since Indian Independence Day in 1947, the national flag has been raised. The Delhi Gate, which is very similar in appearance to Lahori Gate, is another entrance to the Red Fort and is one of the four southern wall. The gate received its name from the fort city. This fort was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2007. This fort is not only a building, but a true witness of the national movement of Indian freedom. It is a symbol of the great and golden history of India. So that is why the Indian Republic as well as every citizen of India have great affection and respect towards Red Fort.
Firstly, we want to thank the Almighty for giving us the consciousness that we should know our past. We want to thank our Managing Trustee, Mrs. S.E. Broughton, our Chairman, Sir, Mr. J.G. Broughton, for their continuous support. Special thanks to Mr. Bobby Baxter, our Principal, Sir, who came up with this rare idea of a history magazine for the first time. We also like to thank our Vice Principal, Sir, Mr. Shantan Mukherjee, our Teacher in Charge, Mr. L. Jennings, and our Junior School Coordinator, Mrs. Cheryl Ande, for continuing their support. We would like to thank our teachers for continuously supporting and encouraging us. We want to thank each and every student who took part in this magazine and also to their parents who continuously gave them support. We would like to thank those who are watching this video. It is important to know our past. Until we know our past, we will not grow in our futures. The History Department of Julian Day School, Ganganagar, wishing you all a very happy and prosperous New Year. Stay happy, stay safe. Please do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.